Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to our coffee times to talk about horror. And today I am here to let you know my reading plans for none other than spooky season. I'm talking, of course, of the month of October.
It's coffee time.
I'm back from holidays and I am very ambitious with my TBR because there are also many new releases that I still need to catch up with, and also I would like to read more horror novellas. I did an experiment not long ago reading like horror novellas for a week and I really enjoyed it, and I thought October is the perfect month to do that with Halloween themed novellas. So I have picked 4 Halloween themed novellas that I can read during the month of October, and the rest is a bunch of books that I just need to get to. So today I'm going to tell you everything that I plan on reading during the month of October. Let's start first with the 4 horror novellas that I plan on reading during the month of October, and I will be reading all of these 4 novellas in 1 week. Let's start with Halloween Fiend by C.V. Hunt, and this is a horror novella that I heard of like a long time ago, as most of my books on my endless TBR pile and wishlist, not gonna lie. And this sounds like the perfect novella for Halloween because we are in a small town, and in this small town every night there is a creature that comes, and that creature has been named by the town people Halloween. So Halloween is a creature that comes every night and demands a treat. So I guess a small offering or sacrifice from each house, and if you don't give the creature what it wants, then you're gonna get a trick, which I'm guessing it's not going to be good for you. So you always need to make sure to comply and give the creature a little treat. But that is not all, because obviously this creature in the very special night of Halloween has a much more bigger demand from the people in town. So I'm really excited to get to know Halloween, this creature, and to see what kind of demands it has, what kind of treats it needs to be happy and content and not start killing townspeople. So I'm really excited for this one. Halloween Land by Kevin J. Kennedy, and this one promises to be an action-packed story, and it's also a coming-of-age story. Zach and Wendy love horror. They are horror buffs, and obviously because they love horror so much, they also love Halloween. And in town there is a new attraction for Halloween. It is a carnival that is going to make its debut night. It's going to open its doors for the first time on Halloween. Everybody's really excited in town about this new carnival that it's called Halloween Land, and of course our 2 teenagers that are horror fans are really excited to go as well and be the first ones to experience it. Of course, when they get to the carnival and they start going to the rides, they're going to realize that there is something very, very evil in the middle of this Halloween land. Another one that sounds promising, and I do love a good horror that takes place in a carnival, a fun park, any of that sorts. I'm a sucker for that. The third one is not actually a novella, it is a short horror story compilation. It is called The Halloween Store and Other Tales of Hallows Eve by Ronald Kelly. This is a short horror story compilation that is all about a Halloween store, and we all know how those stores are. There's full of costumes, decoration, and fun things that you can get to celebrate Halloween. And we follow 4 people that have purchased from this store some Halloween costumes. The costumes that they have purchased are not regular costumes, they are vintage ones, and they soon realize that these costumes should come with either instructions or a warning sign. This is one of the 7 tales that are included in this short horror story compilation, and it's one that I am really excited to try because it's another one that I had on my list before but I never got to, so now it's time. And the last one, it's called Trick or Treat by George Massey, and this one is one that I have not seen anybody ever talking about, and when I was looking for horror novellas that take place around Halloween time or that would be perfect for Halloween season, I came across it and I'm really curious to read it. It's almost 200 pages, so it is on the longer side of the novellas, but I am super intrigued. 2 boys discover an abandoned theme park park on Halloween night. How is that for a start? Of course, there is nobody else around, so they decide to get into the theme park and have some fun, and they decide to go to the ghost ride. And of course, it will turn out to be the ride of their lives. And this is all we know. The synopsis is very short, and I love the premise, obviously. Again, I love theme parks, carnivals, give it all to me, Halloween, all in the mix. And so this is one that I need to read, and I'm surprised I've never heard of it, and I will let you guys know how it went. So those are the 4 horror novellas that I plan on reading for October, and now let's go to the rest of the books. The first one is the Evil Book Club pick, which is the book club that I have with my demons over at my Patreon. And for the month of October, I think we have picked the perfect book, and that is How to Survive a Horror Movie by Scarlett Dunmore. This one recently came out, and I knew the moment that I saw it that I had to get it. I had this one on pre-order. The author is also coming to Yalk, I believe, if I'm not wrong. I have talked about this book before on my channel because I have been highly anticipating it, because I can truly relate to our main character, Charlie. So Charlie is a horror enthusiast, but she's being sent to a new boarding school, and she doesn't want to stand out. She doesn't want to stand out, especially because she's odd or weird or likes things that other people don't like. Like if you say to people, yeah, I love slashers, I love Terrifier, it's my comfort movie, some people might look at you weird, especially if they've never met you before. So she sees this as an opportunity to just blend in, just don't stand out, don't be the weird one this time. And she just wants to, you know, go to school, mind her own business. And it didn't quite actually happen like that, as you could anticipate. And this is because Charlie has found herself in the middle of her own personal horror movie. Some of her classmates are disappearing, they're being murdered, and on top of all of that stress, she's able to see the ghosts of those that have already been killed, deceased. So this sounds like a mix between a slasher in a supernatural story, and by the way it sounds, it could be a little bit of self-aware. The chapters are divided in rules, which I thought it was really cool. Like for example, we have rule number 8, expect strange things in a library. So I think this is such a cool way of splitting the book in chapters. Instead of chapters, you have rules. So I'm really excited for this. The next book that I'm gonna be reading, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to have this book already. This is a book that I have pre-ordered, and it comes out January 2025, but the publisher sent me an early copy, and that is the new Grady Hendrix book. And look at the way they have packaged it. Look at how the arc looks like. It is stunning. It says, How to Be a Groovy Witch. I love this dust jacket that they have done for the paperback. And on the back it says, this book is not for children or morons. I love it. So if you remove this beautiful, stunning dust jacket, you will see the original cover. This is also the cover that I have ordered. This one, and it is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Knowledge is power, power is cursed. And I am beyond excited to read this one. I have been enjoying Grady Hendrix books. You guys know that there's something about it that I just cannot stop reading them. And I personally really enjoyed How to Sell a Haunted House. I think I enjoyed it more than a lot of people. I don't know why, but that second half of the book was so bonkers, but in the best way possible. And I really loved it. So now we have a book about witches, and I'm here for it. And also in a boarding school. I mean, it's gonna be amazing. The girls in this book are called the Wayward Girls, and they are called like that because they have been too quick in life. They are unwed, but they are pregnant. So they are being sent there by their families to keep the pregnancy a secret so nobody knows, to have the children there, and obviously to give them up for adoption. So this is a theme that I've always been really curious about, because unfortunately a lot of girls have went through this and it was against their will. And I'm really excited to see how Grady Hendrix turns something so tragic into probably either a revenge story or something satisfying, because the witches, you know, theme has to come at some point. and hopefully these women regain their power. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen in the book, but that's my wishful thinking. Our main character is 15-year-old Fern, and she's being sent to this school, and we're in the 90s, 70s. So we're in the 70s, which is a great setting for this type of story, and to be in a boarding school like that in the 70s, I'm really excited also to see how the teachers are and to meet the other girls as well. The girls are being controlled to the point where they're even controlling what they're eating. And then one day, the librarian gives a book to Fern, a book about the occult. So I'm guessing Fern is going to, you know, dive into the occult, into witchcraft, and things are gonna happen. I don't know exactly where the story is gonna go, but as you can tell, I'm really excited about this book. I was highly anticipating this for January, and now I already have a copy, so obviously I cannot wait. I need to read it. So this is one of the first books I'm gonna start this October, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Talking about anticipated books, let's talk about a book that I pre-ordered a long time ago, centuries ago. And then the official release date came around and Amazon was like, no. And I have had such a hard time finding a copy of this book, but finally the other day I found a website here, a store in the Netherlands that could deliver it the next day, and I'm like, finally, thank the Lord, thank Lord Satan, Lucifer, we have Incidents Around the House by George Malaman. I felt like everybody and their neighbor were reading this book, enjoying it, talking about it, and I was the one left out in the corner without toys. That's exactly how I felt. So I finally have it, and you bet I'm gonna be reading this in the month of October because I need to know if this book is as scary as people say it is. The story is told from the perspective of a young girl that starts to see some sort of entity in her house, and she starts to call her Oda Mama. And this entity, this creature, whatever it is, starts to tell her to do certain things. People say this is a very unique take on horror, and I have not read really many books that are told from the perspective of a kid, and I am really intrigued. I have taken a look at how the pages look like, and they look like probably conversations between the kid and this entity, and I don't know, I'm really excited about it. I really want to know if it's as scary as people say it is, because for me, you know, books don't tend to scare me so much, so I am intrigued. I need to know. So finally, I'm gonna discover what this book is all about. And another book that was released not long ago that I have been meaning to get to is Under the Surface by Deanna Urban. We follow a class that takes a trip to Paris, and a couple of the kids sneak out to a party. The party is going to take place in the Paris catacombs, and when they get to the party, something happens and some of the kids get lost, some of the teenagers. They get lost inside of the catacombs. So I am really excited for this book because I love horror that feels really claustrophobic, because tight spaces, getting lost in like caves, catacombs, really gets under my skin because I am a little bit claustrophobic. I don't like the thought of being in a really tight space. So the feeling of being lost in the Paris catacombs in the dark, nobody knows you're there, it does get creepy. So I'm really hoping to love this one, and it is a YA mystery, so I'm expecting at least a little bit of blood. Moving on to a book that is kind of like a treat for me for October, a treat, and that is a Richard Laymonde book. It is called Night Show, and I have not read a Richard Laymonde book in a bit, so this is a treat to myself, and I chose one that was on the shorter side. That's the only reason why I chose this one, because it was quite short. Because his books tend to be really chunky. All I know about this one is that a school bully locked Linda in a haunted house when they were in high school, and she's never forgotten it. And now they have to work together in a horror movie, I believe, and I guess Linda maybe wants a little bit of revenge. Our Own Unique Affliction by Scott J. Moses, and the only reason why I chose this one is because I feel like I still have that craving for vampire books, and this is a novella, so I thought that it was about time. I also bought it some time ago and it's been sitting on my Kindle, and every time I see it I'm like, I need to read it, so I feel like it's time, and I love the cover. All I know about this one is that our main character Alice has been kind of rejected by the other immortals, so she walks alone. Town, and I think it deals with family and loss and grief and other things like that, and it sounds very interesting and kind of like a little bit of a different perspective on the vampires, and like what would happen if you're immortal but you're completely alone and not even your own accept you. And if I have time, I've kept this as a wild card. I would like to get to Influencer by Adam Caesar. I just literally got this in the mail the other day, and I'm like, if I can, I'm gonna try to squeeze it into the month of October. We follow Aaron. He's new in town, he's very successful, he's an influencer, but then we have Crystal, and Crystal exposes him for who he truly is. And now somebody is coming for her, is coming for Crystal. So one of the reasons why I really wanted to read this one is because it sounds very modern and different, and we're getting more and more into the influencer, social media, fan base kind of era of horror. At least there's some YA books that have been coming out in the topic, and I'm really intrigued to see what Adam Caesar did with this one. This one is adult though, it is not YA because it says here not suitable for younger readers. And those were, you guys, the books that I'm planning to read during the month of October. It's a little bit of an ambitious TBR pile, but October is also a month that I just thrive when it comes to horror, you know, watching horror movies and reading horror, because it is our month, our creepy, spooky month, and I want to give it my all, my best. Plus, I've, you know, collected some new releases and I need to get to them because I'm just dying to know, and also to tell you guys if it's worth it for you to get them. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you are gonna be reading for spooky season. Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to further support me and the channel, please do consider joining my Patreon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all, as always, in our next coffee time. Bye!